Hi, it's Marcus here from bsvsearch.com. In January 2024, a court case called COPA versus Wright is scheduled to take place in the UK. COPA stands for Crypto Open Patent Alliance, and it is led by Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Block and the co-founder of Twitter. COPA's members include prominent figures such as Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. You've also got companies like Kraken, Blockstream, as well as former and current Bitcoin developers. You have Meta, the owner of Facebook, which is basically Mark Zuckerberg, and WorldCoin, a project by OpenAI's Sam Altman. COPA is suing Craig Wright to dispute his claim of being Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. Their objective is to challenge Craig Wright's ability to assert his rights as the inventor of Bitcoin. Now, while COPA was established in 2020, it is important to note that some of the individuals and organizations involved were also connected to the events surrounding the takeover of Bitcoin when it was BTC back in 2017. Now, I know this probably raises concerns for many people. How could Bitcoin be hijacked, right, or taken over? Such statements contradict what most viewers currently understand and believe to be true about Bitcoin. However, this background that I'm going to give you today in this video will provide context for the upcoming COPA and Craig Wright trial. It should be known to everyone. It should be known to anyone involved in or interested in Bitcoin. So in this video, I will explain how Bitcoin was compromised in 2017 and how these hijackers brought about significant changes to Bitcoin. Yet individuals buying BTC today often buy BTC today under the assumption that it is the same Bitcoin initially described in the Bitcoin white paper by its inventor, Satoshi Nakamoto. This misrepresentation of BTC as Bitcoin could affect people worldwide, including those investing their pension funds in Bitcoin. Therefore, it is essential to allow people to hear and learn and understand this information, because the COPA versus Wright trial could have far-reaching repercussions and consequences in the financial and technological industries that will shape our future. In 2017, BTC developers implemented a significant alteration to the Bitcoin protocol called Segregated Witness, or SegWit. In this discussion, then, we will dive into the concept of SegWit. We'll examine its possible drawbacks and explore the reasons and understand why many people resisted it. To clarify my position, I firmly believe that SegWit has brought about such substantial changes to BTC that it has veered BTC away from the original Bitcoin vision. And consequently, many individuals are becoming disillusioned and skeptical about its potential as a truly effective form of digital cash. In an article I wrote early this year, titled "The Struggle for the True Bitcoin," BTC, BCH, or BSV, published by CoinGeek on the 7th of January 2023, I explored the limitations imposed by Bitcoin's 1 megabyte block size. It restricted transactions capacity to a mere 7 transactions per second. Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's creator, initially did not have this limit when he released the protocol, but he set this limit in 2010 to mitigate the risk of spam transactions. However, Nakamoto intended to increase the block size before the network became too congested. In a 2010 forum post titled "Increase the Block Size Limit," we can see the post from 2010 where Satoshi Nakamoto himself included the code that would allow Bitcoin developers to increase Bitcoin's block size after a certain period, before the Bitcoin network would become congested. In 2017, Bitcoin experienced a surge in popularity. Its price skyrocketed from just a few cents to over $1,000 US dollars by the end of 2017. However, this increase in usage led congestion on the blockchain. Transactions were frequently delayed for several days, highlighting the urgent requirement for scalability solutions. And when we say scalability solutions, it refers to the ability of Bitcoin to handle a lot more transactions than 7 transactions per second. Now, the response of what was then referred to as the Bitcoin community to this congestion problem was divided into 2 factions. The big blockers, on the one hand, they were advocating for following Satoshi's advice to increase block size. And on the other side, you've got the small blockers. They were proposing alternative solutions like segregated witness. SegWit, the shorter name for segregated witness, aimed to optimize the block by segregating the witness part of the transaction, which is referring to the digital signatures from the rest of the transaction data. Before we go further, then, let's have a look at signatures. Signatures carry substantial significance in contract law. It symbolizes that we accept and agree to the terms of the contracts that we have with others. And this concept struck a chord with me in the design of Bitcoin, which echoes the long-standing tradition of utilizing signed promissory notes as a form of cash. Historically, signing a promissory note represented the transfer of ownership or the finalization of a transaction. It's a concept articulated in the second paragraph of the Bitcoin white paper under the heading Transactions, which reads, "We define an electronic coin as a chain of digital signatures." And here is a diagram showing a snapshot of the Bitcoin white paper where it quotes precisely this. So now that we've considered the crucial role of signatures in Bitcoin's infrastructure and the aspirations for Bitcoin to serve as a global digital cash system, it becomes imperative that any alterations to the handling or structuring of these digital signatures be subject to rigorous examination. Changes to this fundamental feature carry the potential for significant consequences, potentially rendering Bitcoin vulnerable to manipulation or control by those with vested interests in the system. The solution to the scaling issue known as segregated witness, proposed by the small blockers, involved separating signature data, often referred to as the witness, from the primary transaction data within a block, and this signature data would then be organized and stored in a distinct block section. The diagram that I'm showing you now provides a visual representation of how SegWit has modified the internal structure of the Bitcoin block. This diagram gives you a sense of how drastic the changes had been. The implementation of SegWit brought about a significant modification in Bitcoin's block structure, changing how transactions are processed and their hashes are computed. Hashes play a critical role in network security as they validate the authenticity and integrity of transactions and detect any substantial alterations. Under SegWit, this hash calculation method deviates from the original approach. Additionally, BTC developers introduce new Bitcoin address formats to work with SegWit. And you can see this for yourself. Previously, addresses, Bitcoin addresses, started with a 1, number 1. But now they commence with a number 3, or sometimes BC1. This alteration signifies a departure from traditional Bitcoin addresses. The substantial alterations in the calculation of hashes for Bitcoin transactions, which have been consistent since the inception of the Genesis block — Genesis block means the very first block — coupled with a shift in Bitcoin address formats, unequivocally demonstrate that SegWit has brought about profound changes to Bitcoin. This leads to the compelling conclusion that BTC has strayed from the original design and principles outlined in the 2009 Bitcoin White Paper. And consequently, a valid argument is made that BTC should no longer be regarded as Bitcoin because it is not the same Bitcoin that was initially introduced. Bitcoin was originally conceived as a digital cash system, and stability is paramount for such a system to be effective. As a foundation for individuals, businesses, and governments to build upon, it must remain consistent to provide a secure base for all the websites, applications, and software utilizing it. Consider the Internet. It is constructed upon a protocol called TCP/IP. Its core specifications have remained largely unaltered since the 1980s. And even though it's not perfect, its stability has enabled tremendous progress. Think about the vast range of activities we can now do with the Internet. It started from us typing text on a command prompt. Now we're watching cat videos, we're communicating with relatives worldwide, or we're playing computer games with people we don't know. This level of development and acceptance would not have been possible if the TCP/IP protocol kept changing at the whims and discretion of a few developers. Indeed, the same principle applies to Bitcoin. Protocol stability is paramount to serve as an attractive platform for individuals, businesses, and governments to build upon. In this context, consider protocols as the fundamental rules governing Bitcoin's operation, and the method by which the Bitcoin network assesses the trustworthiness of transactions and blocks through hash calculations forms a crucial part of this protocol, maintaining and ensuring that Bitcoin addresses are recognized, and all these other critical elements is imperative. Frequent changes to the Bitcoin protocol could dissuade or discourage serious adoption, and it disrupts activities like long-term business contracts that may extend across decades or even generations. Think about a mortgage. It's about 25 years, 30 years. Think about inheritance agreements. It waits until you die, basically. So these things are long, and you cannot have these contracts or agreements being disrupted. It is therefore essential that everyone can place their trust in the reliability and integrity of the Bitcoin protocol. And the decision to make changes to BTC now is ultimately decided upon by a small group of unelected number of developers being funded by beneficiaries to influence the direction of what's supposed to be a cash system on which everybody relies. Satoshi Nakamoto had emphasized that once the Bitcoin protocol was released, it should remain set in stone. However, BTC developers thought they knew better, so they opted for significant changes to the Bitcoin protocol with their implementation of SegWit. Now, 6 years have passed since the split between big blockers and small blockers, giving us the advantage of hindsight to assess the results and determine which path came closer to realizing Bitcoin's intended purpose as a digital cash system. So, since the BTC developers implemented SegWit in the BTC blockchain in 2017 and subsequently introduced the Lightning Network, how have these changes performed Well, BTC still falls short of delivering the reliable, affordable, and swift transactions required for it to effectively function as digital cash. On-chain, BTC can handle just 7 transactions per second, around there. Unfortunately, their scaling solutions, SegWit and Lightning Network, have proven to be unreliable and insecure. And in recent months, as of the time of creating this video, many Lightning developers are losing confidence in the feasibility of the Lightning Network. In fact, there is a recent article published by Cointelegraph.com on November 26, 2023, titled, "Lightning devs must wake up and address security bugs, not prioritize VC interests," points out this issue. This article highlights how developers working on the Lightning Network have shifted their focus away from security towards generating returns for investors. In October, Bitcoin Core developer and researcher Antoine Riard made headlines after leaving the Lightning ecosystem due to concerns about a new attack vector called replacement cycling, which could be exploited to steal funds by targeting payment channels. So it doesn't look like it's going too well there at the Lightning Network camp. On the other hand, since 2017, the big blockers have remained committed to working on the original Bitcoin blockchain, known as Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Bitcoin SV, or BSV. Their aim has been to restore the Bitcoin protocol as closely as possible to its original 2009 state. They reinstated all the opcodes that were removed by BTC developers, and most importantly, they removed the block size limit, as it was in the original version of the protocol release. This approach aligns with the principles outlined in the Bitcoin white paper and is led and guided by Craig Wright, whose expertise in the technical, legal, philosophical, and commercial aspects of Bitcoin is commensurate. It matches with his claim as the inventor of Bitcoin. So how is BSV faring? Bitcoin SV can currently handle a maximum of 100,000 transactions per second on-chain, a stark contrast to BTC's 7 transactions per second. On August 8, 2023, it processed an impressive 116 million transactions in a single day. Transaction fees are extraordinarily low, ranging from 1,000th to 1/1,000,000%. And transactions are settled within minutes, regardless of the geographical location of the parties involved. They could be in different countries. And further, they are in the process of testing the possibility of achieving 1 million transactions per second in the coming year, 2024. These remarkable levels of blockchain performance stand as a testament to Craig Wright's profound knowledge and understanding of Bitcoin, surpassing what most people could have even imagined just a few years ago. So, to conclude, in this video we have outlined why Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Bitcoin SV or BSV in short, is the true Bitcoin, no longer BTC. We have explored the significant protocol change known as SegWit, which BTC developers implemented. This change has been so profound that BTC has deviated away from what many would assume it to be, an affordable and reliable digital cash system, precisely as described in the Bitcoin white paper by its creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. BTC developers, including those that are financially supported by entities like Blockstream, the exchanges, and other influential figures and companies in the cryptocurrency industry, persist in presenting BTC as Bitcoin. And this misleads individuals and organizations worldwide who acquire it believing it to be the same Bitcoin described by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin white paper. The very individuals and companies who played a role in what can be referred to as the hijacking of BTC, are now members of COPA, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance. And using this case, the COPA versus Craig Wright trial, COPA is currently advancing the next phase of their agenda. They want to deny Craig Wright's rights over the work he had done to launch Bitcoin in 2009, and the rights over the work he continues to do to support and grow the true Bitcoin today. Hi, I'm glad you stayed with me up until this point. I do hope that it was informative and helpful for you. And if you liked it, it's got a Bitcoin address, this video. You can tip it BSVs. Even if it's just 1 Satoshi, it is enough to qualify it as a tipped content in BSV. And what we do with this tipped content is that we're going to start ranking them so that we can start ranking the best videos, best articles, or best posts. In fact, at bsvsearch.com, we do have a leaderboard of these things. We're going to start collecting them. And if you haven't done so already, please like this video. You can also subscribe to this channel so that next time when I release future videos, and I will, more about this COPA trial, if this catches your attention, then I will be releasing more of these videos. So subscribe to this channel, you'll get notified, and keep in touch. You can contact me at bsvsearch.com. There's a contact form there. If it is for me, the email will just filter through to me. So until next time, this is Marquez from BSV Search. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye.